when you join or when you watch the replay, #replay. For those of you just joining the group, welcome to the group. Those of you who have been with us, we appreciate you staying. Hope you're getting value here in the 1% Code Collective. I'm your host, Dr. Melva, board certified radiation oncologist, serial entrepreneur, and investor. And I help top income earners create multiple streams of income, one passive income stream at a time. And I do that through coaching, online events, VIP days, and my 1% Circle Mastermind. So consults are available if you'd like to reach out and see how we can help you. So let's get into it. Topic today is strategies to take your business to the next level. Again, strategies to take your business to the next level. And before we do that, I'll just kind of I'd like to give you a update of where we are. So we're multi-franchise owners. We own a Cold Stone Creamery, we own a Subway, and we are working on the financing. I did a late night financing SBA funding about the Cold Stone Creamery in the group. You can find that. It was like a live 10 o'clock at night. It's hilarious with my background, but I'll tell you more about the vision therapy in a second. And so that's what we're doing now. So I'm looking kind of at the site standards list. So we walked the new store location for franchise for the Cold Stone franchise, and a corporate representative flew out. Gosh, was that yesterday? I don't know. I can't even keep up with it, to be honest. And they provided us with the site standards and checklists, the architectural and engineering requirements for new store build outs. So just to give you a brief, and the reason I'm sharing this is because when you're talking about taking your business to the next level, you really want to be modeling after billion-dollar corporations, and franchises are exactly that, right? So I learn a lot from this. I take a lot of my personal entrepreneurship with what, our franchise acquisition type entrepreneurship, and we use those principles, and you can do the same in your business. So things that we have for requirements for checkoffs. So they talk about space size and zoning. This is a quick serve restaurant. This is Cold Stone Creamery. So it's all about appropriate for food use. We have a checkoff on domestic water. So looking at the restrooms, without restrooms, what amount the water supply can hold, sewer and grease trap interceptor. For those of you who haven't been in the business industry or food industry before, grease traps, we learned this with Subway. We have to get those checked probably every 3 months. At first it was 6 months, and then we increased the production in the store. They added more greasy type items, and plumbers do grease traps. So if you don't know anything about a grease trap and you need someone to come check that, when the grease trap backs up, your water backs up, and you have plumbing issues. So anyway, just things we've learned. And then it's electrical. They have different requirements for your HVAC. And then it's existing and exiting and restrooms. And then other items about access to the phone and internet. They have a minimum interior ceiling height, multi-story buildings, which we won't have. It's a one level. We talk about, they talk about you have to have a chase to the roof for conduit. So it's a long list of things that you have to have. And these are checkouts. And that's just the one sheet. And then the other one is, it's a 4-page review of the site. And this is after you've pretty much gotten your lease ready to go. So we are working on that. And then we are the 19-point checklist I talked about for the SBA loan funding, circling back with that tomorrow. It's a lot of moving parts, but these are all steps to taking your business to the next level. So if I go back to our story, we were at the point that we'd done a lot of real estate investment. We'd had different businesses. Between my husband and I, we created different streams of income, and we've always had that desire to take it to the next level. So the next level for us was to be franchise owners. And then the next level for our real estate journey was when we purchased our first commercial building. So what you'll find is that, many entrepreneurs, we have one thing in common, and that's the ability to see the big picture, right? And envision what success will look like in the future. But I think sometimes we get stuck and we need momentum. So what are some things that you've been stuck in before? If you're watching live or you're catching the replay, just let me know before. Why do you feel like your business or your business ventures haven't gone to the next level? So, and even though this looks kind of weird, it looks like a C, but this is a racetrack exercise for vision therapy. So the target is, the purpose of it is when my daughter's doing the exercise, she patches one eye and it's like an ice cream cone, and you're working on staying within the line. And then these are the timing. So anyway, that's what's behind me if you're kind of wondering. I was going to put it away or blur the background, but I figured I'd share a part of my other life with you because I'm a mom of 3 doing these entrepreneur things. So if I can do it, you can do it. So So why hasn't your business gone to the next level? And really, I think before we say that, it's like, how do you even define what the next level is? And for a lot of people, that's getting into different verticals that you haven't been into yet with your business. For other people, maybe it's a monetary figure. You hear a lot about transitions from 6 to 7 to 8 to 9 figures, etc. So think about, in your situation, apply this to wherever you are. What is it that is keeping you stuck? Why haven't you gone to the next level? And then apply some of these tips to see how that helps you. Okay. So I think one of the biggest problems I think one of the biggest ways that people get stuck is that you don't have enough momentum. And I talk about this a lot in the podcast. Money loves speed, success loves speed. So you really have to build up this energy and have a series of small wins that lead to large gains, right? How do you do that? So one, you have to set goals that are pushing boundaries, okay? And what does that mean? A lot of you have been in corporate America before, or maybe you've already had a small business in another area, and you have goals and you have stretch goals. If you don't constantly create those stretch goals, it's going to be difficult for you to push past this point that you're stuck in, right? So creating push goals will really, it will clear your focus. It will help you measure your progress, and it will help you track the performance. Plus, it helps you to get to that momentum because you're doing more than what you normally would be doing, right? Let me know what questions you have about that. Number 2 is continuous, constant learning. Okay. And I feel like I have been a learner forever. Like, as a radiation oncologist, 14 years of school, I just didn't know when I'd ever stop taking exams and learning. And I still haven't. Like, there's so much to learn. But to go to the next level, you have to start to ask better questions. And no matter how much you've accomplished, how much success you've had, there's always more to learn. But what I would add to that is to take your business or your vision for your financial wealth goals to the next level. There has to be a focus to your learning. So I find that a lot of physicians like myself, PharmDs, dentists, we love taking courses because that's what got us to our first initial multi-six figure, maybe 7-figure for some of you, salaried position. So we're almost trained that we value education. We take a course, we'll be able to take this new skill set. Sometimes when you want to take your business to the next level, you don't need a course, you need the implementation and strategic partnership, right? If you have a course and you've done nothing with it, but it's sitting on a bookshelf, it's not going to help you take your finances and your business vision to the next level. So when I say continuous learning, I mean being open and having strategy and partnership to really see what you aren't able to see. So even though a lot of us are visionary, we don't have that ability to see it in our own business sometimes, right? Like, you can even ask someone who's not in the business world, who's not an entrepreneur, just to lay raw, like non-entrepreneurial eyes on it. And they're going to pick up something that you probably never would have considered. And instead of discounting that, see if you can find the value of that to get you to the next level. And I know that sounds really backwards, but I've had people that I've listened to the conversation, and sometimes it sounds negative, or I'm just like, they don't really get it. They're not visionaries. They don't know what I'm doing, but they say like one small thing, and I can take that to create a beneficial value add to the end game of the business goals. Okay. So you have to think differently, and you have to be open to learning, but just be very peculiar with what you're learning, because there's a lot of distractions, kind of like that racetrack. Like, it's going kind of zigzag. It's supposed to be asymmetric. It looks like a C. The first one she didn't look like that. But so that's continuous learning. Next is delegate. And I feel like I talk about this in every live. So part of the 1% code is leverage. Leverage means to leverage your time, your money, your energy, your effort. And it means to remove yourself from the day-to-day activities of the business. Okay. You want to work on your business, not in your business. For example, we get an alert whenever in our Cold Stone franchise that the staff have deactivated the DoorDash. Okay. It drives me absolutely crazy. Welcome, welcome, welcome. It drives me absolutely crazy because that means dollars are going out the door, right? But I'm not working in the business. So I'm not manually going into the store and turning the DoorDash tablet on so that we can get orders. It's like a Thursday night, right? And so what do? We talk to the managers, we talk to the employees. And today it got to the point that we sent out a letter that unless you get management approval to turn off the DoorDash tablet or pause it, you will need to clock out. If you cut off our DoorDash, you need to clock out, right? So we're delegating, right? So how do we delegate? We put out the letter. My husband called the manager, and the manager will talk to the staff and then post this letter, right? So we somewhat delegated. Now, there's a delegate to get done, and there's also being strategic as to what we are delegating and what is the message, right? So we didn't completely say, hey, you guys figure this out, because it's been going on for a while. And sometimes it's valid. I've been in the store before when I was there for like 16 hours trying to figure it out. And this is the Cold Stone. But other times it's not. Like it was a 7:20 on a Thursday in September. Everyone's not running to get ice cream right now. And plus we can see the notifications. So you have to be able to delegate effectively and strategically, and then it can make a difference between you reaching burnout versus you reaching a new financial metric next level in your business. Okay, is that helpful? Let me know if you're getting any value from this. Drop a 1 below if you're watching this. If you were really, really good at delegating, drop a 2 if you could use some help delegating, because I know there's some of you who need to learn how to delegate. So number 4 is, and again, I think a lot of these are the same theme, to have success, is make the most of your time. Okay. So you have to have some type of routine and daily task with key performance indicators, metrics that you're following. When you're looking to take your business to the next level, there has to be blocked out time to specifically work on these push goals and pushing the boundaries and pushing the financial gains that you can do in your business. Okay, so we have a 2 in the group. All right, so we will help you do that. Let us know where or when you need to delegate. So it's so funny because I say the numbers and like I don't even remember what I said. But like numbers are easier to write. So, but making the most out of your time. Whenever we have been in a momentum part of our business and we are, let's say, for example, like I mentioned, if you're just now joining, that we are expanding our Cold Stone location. So we're going through financing, we're meeting with the, realtors in the real estate. We're working on, investors, and we're meeting with private security lawyers to figure out if we're going to open up a 506B or a 506C, if we want accredited investors, non-accredited investors. And then we are, we're working on the subway. We were going to do a upgrade, and we're not. So we're looking to get some marketing in there for local marketing. And so as we're doing all of these things, we reach a momentum point because we're super effective with our time. So the lawyers, the bankers, the connections we're making to go to that next level, it's all blocked out. It's very scheduled. It's very strategic. We're not wasting people's time. We come on the phone calls prepared to know exactly what it is that we want to add value to the situation and the relationship, so they remember us, love us, and like us, right? And us is like my husband and I. And then we also have the information that we hope to get. So I used to do this on interviews, and I know a lot of you are professionals and physicians and dentists and pharmacists in the group. And so you probably have this down pat, but it's just like with an interview. I was prepared for whatever answer. Like I knew I had an agenda of what I wanted to get across. So I'm a B and Duke scholar from Duke University for undergrad. So it was a full academic scholarship. And I'll never forget that interview because they asked me questions. And regardless of what they asked me, I was going to tie in my key points that were my values, what I could add to the institution, what I could add to the program. I already knew, like I was prepared to get to certain stories. Like I knew what stories I was going to share, and I'd been over it multiple times. So it's the same thing. If you were good at interviewing, you do that same to build your relationships, build momentum, and make the most out of your time. So if I have a conversation, I only have 15 minutes, and I see people do this all the time. They waste time when they get a chance to have a free consult or ask a question at a conference or convention or get around someone who can really help them. And they ask things that are Googleable. Is that a thing? Googleable? You know what I'm trying to say? Like they ask things that you could Google the answer to. No, what you want to do are things that people gain from insight, from wisdom, right? So like if you're talking to me, you don't want to ask me something technical on how to set up a landing page, right? You want to ask me something about optimization and scaling after you've reached 6 figures on a campaign. You see what I'm saying? So going to the next level and taking your business higher than where you are now is being strategic about your time, about your thought, about your mindset, and setting that up so that you're more effective. And it's not really like being more effective in day-to-day business management tasks or the potential of your business for greater success. It's really that strategic planning of okay, I have 15 minutes and this is what I need to have before to maximize that 15 minutes. This is how I'm going to think. I want to make sure we cover this. And it can still be very natural. But anyway, enough about that, okay? Make the most of your time because wasting time is not going to get you to where you want to go, okay? Although sometimes we need to waste time, right? Like straight up last night, and if there's some other experts in here, like I've kind of held off on doing like the Instagram reels, but I bought someone's I don't want to call it course because it was like a mastermind. I just wanted to see it because I loved her style. And I was like, okay, I felt like I was wasting time because I was just watching her like go through the motions of how to do an Instagram and choose the hashtag and the music. Even though I've had a ton of Instagram background, I know how to do it. I've never really been ready to do it. And so that was kind of wasting time, kind of business building, but some of that's okay. But during my most effective hours where I'm in front of people's, the people that I need in the network to go to the next level, to have 100 franchises, to, own 100 more pieces of real estate, get into this multifamily unit we saw. We're looking for investors if you want to come with us we don't have it locked down yet, but we're getting there. It's a 7-unit on the beach in Norfolk that we're looking at short-term rental to do. So we're always looking for investors. Reach out to me. Happy to talk to you. But to do that, you have to be strategic. Okay. But there are other times just waste time. Okay. Because your brain just needs a break. So anyway, that was garbled. So let me know if this is helping, if it's hitting home for you. And lastly, okay, number 5 is you want to change up and explore really what you're doing for your marketing efforts. And this is a whole nother live, but there's a difference between sales and marketing team, lead generation, sell databases. And I've noticed in the business ventures we've done, as they've increased in revenue, increased in profitability, we're very specific with what we're doing, whether it is metrics daily on how many, everything's about KPI, key performance indicators. If you're new to this, everything is about how many conversations did I have? How many pitches or presentations did I get? Getting to know how many people did I ask for referrals and say, hey, who else do you know that would be great for whatever you're offering, whatever your business is, right? And so you have to track that. You have to track how much time it takes you or your team. I talk a lot about delegating and having a team do this. And then, if you focus on one part of that, marketing, as far as, are you doing organic marketing? Are you doing paid marketing and advertising? Are you, for example, sharing on joint email lists with people? Are you getting on people's other Facebook groups to contribute? Are you on podcasts? What are you doing besides being excellent at what you do and you have this idea and no one knows you exist? That's the biggest problem I find in people going to the next level is if only someone knew that you were there, you were talented, and you were able to serve them, maybe your business would go to that next level. And I think a lot of us think we do one or two things here or there and it's going to get the results. I'm always surprised when I speak to my mentors who have hit the $100 million mark. They are literally not only doing advertising, they're reaching out, they're asking for referrals, and they're doing it consistently. And they can tell you exactly everything I'm saying, database and numbers, right? So without data, without a marketing plan, your business won't go to the next level. And I'd add, if that's not your strong point, that's okay. This is when you bring in the experts. Okay. So we've talked about a lot really fast. I apologize. I know I talk really, really fast, but I love this topic for so many reasons because I think I see so many of you who could just go to the next level if you'd stop buying courses. And I say that because I used to buy a lot of courses, but I realize I get more results when I'm doing these things, when I'm gaining momentum by setting goals and pushing boundaries, when I'm open to continuous learning, but getting results and implementing, not just learning, when I'm delegating and being strategic in what's being delegated, when I'm making the most of my time. And, you go through seasons. So we're not pushing all the time, right? So as a, board certified radiation oncologist who's still working full time with 3 kids, 2 franchises, obviously I'm not doing all of it at once. And I won't say it's perfectly balanced. We talked about that in another life, another, I was going to say another life hack. We talked about that in another live stream, but it's just a season. You have a season where you're pushing, you're launching, you're working to get to these push boundaries. And that's when you're making the most of your time. That's when you're doing these marketing. And then you have the off season where, you kind of take a break. You do something different, right? So what questions do you have? Whoever's joining me live, sorry, I didn't even look at Facebook. Let me know what questions you have. I'm happy to answer them. Let me know what topics would be helpful for us to cover. If you haven't caught this week's podcast, I interviewed Dr. Brent Lacey. He's all about debt, cash flow, money management. He has a conference coming up. Jesse, if you can drop that information in our group and make sure that's on the podcast post. He gave a discount for our members if they want to do, I believe it's Money, Medicine, Marriage Conference. But if you can make sure we have that. And let's see. Hello. Hey, Dr. Cooper, I talked with you earlier today. That was awesome. Okay, you said number 2. Yes, we will help you with that, Dr. Cooper. Hey, Dr. Cheryl. I'm just now seeing this. All right, what questions do you have for me? Thanks, Jessica. That was so fast. See, this is why you need a team, because she is on it. She is on it. Any questions while I'm here live? I'm happy to answer those. All right, if there are no more questions, thank you so much for joining me. I would love to know your takeaways below. If you think of other questions about this, just comment below and we'll be in the group to check it. Until next time, please check out the podcast, and the link to the podcast this week is in the comments. All right. Thanks so much, everybody. Good night. Bye.